Okatov Mishpachah. All glory and praise to the Creator, Yuhei Wavhe, and His most humble Son, Yuhei Wavhe. Bet Noon Sophie, Yuhei Wavhe, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, our Messiah. Welcome back to the channel, family. Today's topic is dealing with the art of war. The art of war. Now, I know when you hear the word war, you're thinking about the conventional way of, military guys that's going in with guns and tanks and stuff like that and shooting up and conquering. But it's much more to the art of war than just that. War, by definition, means a state of conflict between different nations, states, or groups, right? And a synonym for the word war is campaign. Now, you hear that word campaign a lot in the news media. They throw that word around freely. You hear it often, the word campaign. And some synonyms for the word campaign is crusades, battle plans, course of actions. You hear that a lot in the media from your politicians. Strategies, tactics, maneuvers, and operations. So when you hear the word campaign, you have to understand and read between the lines what is being said when these politicians and state government officials are making these pronouncing these words. But we're going to dive into the scriptures and it relates to the word war when it pertains to a certain group of people. All right. Now keep in mind what the word campaign as it relates to the word war, which means a course of actions. And we're going to be reading from the book of Exodus chapter 1. We're going to start at verse 7. We're going to go through this and see do we find a course of action as it relates to a certain group of people. Verse 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased it abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, unto his group of people, Behold, the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Now, there we go with that word war in that scripture. And the word war, what we just covered, means a course of action. So Pharaoh and his people, meaning his group selected people in those secret societies, got together and came up with a plan, a course of action, and an operation against the children of Israel. And what made them do that, because the children of Israel was being more mightier than them by multiplying themselves. When the children of Israel first came into Egypt, it was only 70 souls with Jacob. And over the course of those 420 years that they was in Egypt, they multiplied. So Pharaoh got worried and scared because the children of Israel was more than they were. And they decided to take a course of action against the children of Israel. Right? Now you think about that course of action with Pharaoh and his secret members planning against the children of Israel. That was their campaign, because the children of Israel was too many. The so-called black man here in North America have no idea that they are in a war. It's one thing to be in a war knowing you in a war, but to be in a war and don't know you in a war, and that these operations of plans and actions against you, that's most worse. So And one of the ways the devil used ways of war against the so-called black man from the tribe of Judah here in North America is through birth control. You know, throughout history, it proves and shows if you conquer the men, then the women be left alone unprotected. Right? So our people have to understand that you are to multiply yourselves for the future generations. You look around all nations when they come here to America, especially the Mexicans. The Mexicans multiply like rats, and that's a good thing. You know, our people have been taught that to have so many children, it's bad. Oh, my body's not gonna look right. I can't afford all those children. Well, don't worry about that. We made it here. We was poor, you know. But the devil, our enemies, he used that as a weapon against us. That is one of his battle plans. That is one of his strategies, his tactics, to seize war on the male, the black male in particular. Kill the male off, and the woman is left unprotected. And the enemy can come in and do whatever he chooses with it. Sow his seed, and you know, all those other tactics that he have playing against you. So what they do, they have the male, the so-called black male, and the so-called black woman, you know, against each other. You know, this is one of the enemy's tactics. He don't want you to reproduce. He don't want you to reproduce. But you know, our Father Yahweh tell us, multiply, reproduce. You know, this is one of the keys of taking it. Take your heaven back, multiply. That's just one of the keys that he taught us. So you have to be conscious and aware of the tactics of the enemy when you hear these words, campaign and operations. Just another code word for war against you. Moving right along. Exodus chapter 1 verse 12. But the more the Egyptians afflicted the children of Israel, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. So see, they was mad because the children of Israel was multiplying. They were becoming too mighty. Verse 15. And the king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Siphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then ye shall live. So see, we see this every day in America. How the black males being shot down by the police and locked up from the age of 18 to 25. You got millions of black young men locked behind American prisons. So this is one of the tactics that he uses to kill a male. And you seen what the scripture just said. If it's a female, let her live. Meaning that let her go apply for welfare. Let her go get food stamps and etc. from the government. This is how the enemy controls the woman, rule through her against the black male. This is some of his tactics, his art of war. And we have to be conscious and understand what's been going on. Now, for you brothers out there that's having all these children from these sisters out there and not taking care of, I can understand the sister going to put you on child support. You know, but for those brothers out there that's taking care of their children, sisters, don't be a victim of our enemy's war against the male. Because if you allow him to do that, then that means you damaging the next generation. When you have a son, the same thing that you apply to that son's father, that son's gonna grow up and go through that same cycle. So you have to be conscious and aware and not let the enemy put these tactics on you. Brothers, man up. You know, so we have to be accountable and responsible to one another in order for us to grow as a nation. And so, and this is one of the keys and tactics of taking our heaven back. Be fruitful and multiply, family. All glory and praises to the Creator, Yahweh, and Yahweh Bet Nun Sofi, Yahweh, Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Shalom Aleichem and Anil Hov. And don't forget to like and subscribe.